Alright, then it's time for a Nunu game, and this is actually not Jungle Nunu, it's Support Nunu, and my god, everyone hated the fact that I was Nunu. My teammates gave me a lot of shit. In fact, in Champion Select, they went, oh god, dear no, not Nunu. My Vel'Koz teammate was insulting me throughout the entire thing, though I think after a while he was just kind of trolling. But honestly, this account has like, what, 2 support champions, and it's Soraka and Taric, and I guess Nunu. And in this case, I didn't think Taric would be a good idea to pick, and at the same time, it would be kind of boring to pick him yet again. And I figured Soraka would just be kind of a wasted pick against that lineup. So I went with Nunu, since my Blood Boil will work on 4 of the champions here, including myself, counting myself as one of them, so it's 4 out of them. And especially with Quinn, I figured Blood Boil would be great. Nunu as a counter to the enemy team isn't that grandiose. Renekton is mildly, disappointed fighting Nunu. Nautilus is slow down, but it's not a big deal. The only one who's truly affected is the Skarner, but he's not going to be much of a big deal in most cases. If he beelines for me, he's pretty much going to lose it for his teammates, right? So, this game was specifically just... I was forced to be a support, and I didn't have many choices, but Nunu's not the worst choice here. And I figure if there's going to be a support, a champion that Nunu supports well, it's going to be Quinn. I figure Quinn and Caitlyn are really 2 ideal champions for Nunu to be picked as a support, right? So that's my reasoning behind this. And to be fair, Nunu's not bad. He's just out of the meta, right? And in most cases like this, where people say, why do you pick this champion who's not in the meta or something like that? If the stars align to make the champion worthwhile, then it's good to go. It's not a bad one. Like in this case here, the fight breaks out, and honestly, I should have put myself in between Quinn and Moore so she wouldn't take so much damage. But we get the first blood, so it's all fine, even though Quinn ends up just dying right here. Again, I should have put my fat ass in between Quinn and Nautilus a lot sooner so she wouldn't take a lot of damage. Vel'Koz comes down bottom, and he actually yells at me here. Like, I go back in just to try to get up some passive stacks so I can throw a snowball at the Nautilus by just giving him Blood Boil. I get killed and Vel'Koz dies soon after, and he yells at me for trying to quote-unquote kill steal. I didn't even try really hard to try to do anything except Blood Boil and maybe throw a snowball if I had a chance to. Nonetheless, I go mid to donate some wards, and I see a chance to perhaps gank Ahri. Instead, the Vel'Koz pings me nonsensically and tells me to go fuck myself, saying I'm useless and just go bottom lane. I was like, I was here to maybe help you out a little bit and probably give you a ward, but I'll go fuck myself if you ask me to. So, the game is rather even. We got the first blood, so it kind of balances out them having another kill over us. Fortunately for us, not unfortunately for us, it's on 2 on the Ahri, and she's kind of a brutal bitch right now. She's going to become a brutal bitch. My teammate dies, and there's honestly nothing I could have done there, except maybe probably been in front of the Graves to take the bookshot damage, but I don't know if that would have made any impact. Rek'Sai joins the fray, we end up being able to catch the Graves, and he gets killed. Now, back to the whole meta thing. It just gets so tiresome having to defend some of the choices I make. Like, the Mordekaiser pick that I made, some people questioned me and even said it was a stupid choice. I'm like, sometimes the enemy picks something that's so out of the meta that random picks can make sense. Sometimes the stars align and it makes your champions great. In those cases, it's basically fuck the meta. Let's say right now Hecarim's meta. Hecarim's meta, support Nautilus is meta. Urgot is meta. Sure, all that stuff is meta, but sometimes it just doesn't matter what they pick, because a situation like this where they completely fuck up their abilities happens, and a full-blown ultimate from Nunu comes up and just wipes the floor with them. By the way, the Queen actually said I could stole the Nautilus, and I'm like, you know what? I kind of got us those 2 kills, so you gotta cut me some slack. Everybody was hating on me during this game, and it was kind of like really bumming me out. But as you can see, it's not, the pick is working out well. I mean, maybe something like Leona would have had a similar effect, but it's not as the worst thing I could have picked. It's working out, though in this case right here, we both kind of get destroyed, so it didn't work out as well as we had hoped for in that situation. But honestly, most characters would have died. So yeah, Nunu's working out well. I'm buying supporty items. I bought a Dorian's Ring early just to give myself some more AP oomph and some mana regeneration, since I don't have the mana regeneration runes that most supports would have. And I'm going to be building myself heavy aura, because Nunu, aside from the occasional snowball and punches and slowing people with the ultimate, doesn't really have much else, right? You just kind of stand there and you just throw debuffs and buffs to your teammates. That's about it. So auras on Nunu is the best way to go, or a cooldown reduction, just so you can spam your snowball and just be a little annoying to asshole. By the way, here we get dove and we're gonna get absolutely butchered, but thankfully for us, the Vel'Koz is showing down bottom, so we can try to kill steal a few kills. Because the Rexa right now is just kind of kiting them in circles and slapping these players around. Hell, the Vel'Koz fails to kill steal from the Renekton kill, and he kind of almost fails to kill the Nautilus too, but he gets it. So we're still, again, pretty much even with the enemy team. And the true strength of Nunu ends up showing up in team fights. So in the lane phase, he's been nerfed so much that it's kind of a really weak lane phase in comparison to other supports, unless he has, someone like Caitlyn who has to play safe anyways, and the battles between 2v2 aren't even going to happen. So once team fights happen, you're going to see the full-blown Nunu annoyance that can transpire. I'm walking around trying to clear wards, trying to poop some wards out for my teammates, even though I'm getting some harassment from my Vel'Koz and whatever. And I go back down bottom, and of course, as you can see, at this point, I can keep Blood Boy up on Quinn pretty much the entire time. It's a huge boost to her, of course. It's a huge boost to any AD carry, really, except not as much of the bruiser type. I mean, not the bruiser types, the burst types like Graves. So that's kind of one reason why support Nunu is even less attractive. But with the right homie, it's just really good. So, Rek'Sai comes down bottom alongside with Vel'Koz comes down bottom along with Aurelia. I leave Quinn to go kill the Graves herself, and I just go use my ultimate to slow down the Nautilus. This is probably one of the better things about Nunu in both jungle and in the support role. It's just that ultimate is, well, actually, I'll go back to the history of it. A long time ago, people would call Nunu bad, and this was season 0 and season 1. People would call Nunu bad because you could just flash out of his ultimate, right? You can flash out of his ultimate. Well, you know what his ultimate does? It's an AoE. It's an AoE. So if you get at least two flashes or 3 flashes, even if your ultimate does 0 damage, having burned a few flashes from your opponents is a tremendous win. Just being an obstacle they have to go through, an obstacle they have to spend resources to avoid is a big deal. In fact, right here, I put myself literally in the middle of the enemy team. They cannot cross me. The Nautilus couldn't use his Q because I was in the way. I put my ultimate here to little effect. I get pretty much killed. And I'm just kind of, well, actually, I didn't use my ultimate. I just get instantly murdered. And the fight breaks out in sheer chaos. So this is just completely a disorganized mess. And my teammates lose it, and then the enemy team sort of gets too angsty, and they end up losing it. And then sort of my teammates, they pick up the Ahri, then the Graves gets picked off, and then my teammates decide to re-lose the fight. So we lost it, sort of won it, and now we lost it yet again. So nonetheless, though, the game is still really dead even. Like, they have a small gold advantage, but as far as we're concerned, in the middle of the game, we're pretty much even. We pick off a free Skarner kill here. Just he dies here, and then we get a little CC'd under the tower. We get a little gung-ho on the Nautilus. Ahri comes in. Aurelia gets pulled in. She doesn't get killed, though. You're going to even see Graves flash dash, and completely miss the Aurelia. It goes straight through her. So she gets to live. We got an easy pick, and it's a really messy game, ain't it? And it's still not even over. There's 10 minutes left in this video, and just sit tight. Hopefully you're eating some popcorn while watching this. Now, you can see my item build is Heart of the Mountain, and I'm building myself the, whatever that thing is called, I already forgot. Heart of Gold? No, not Heart of Gold, that thing's long gone. May it rest in peace. I'm building that charge item, the new coin for tanks or whatever. I forgot, Righteous Glory, there we go, I remember that name now. Righteous Glory, and then I'm hoping to build Locket of the Iron Solari at some point, just to give my teammates as much support quality as I can. Here I unfortunately do steal the Graves kill, but I just kind of thought that he would get too far away and the Nautilus would CC us. So that we pick him off as a kill. I tank a tower for my Queen to kill it. Hell, there we go. You can see right now I'm support Nunu, and one of his best qualities is just how fucking fat he gets. Nunu just gets naturally fat. It's so jungle or support. So I get to do some tower diving shenanigans, and if they CC me, if they ever have to use crowd control on me, they pretty much already lost the fight, right? The enemy team gets overzealous. They go through my jungle, and the Aurelia is just there in time to pick them off. Though that right there was a kill steal. I probably should have just given her a Blood Boy and not used a snowball. I was just figuring it wouldn't kill him. But I guess it has more damage than I thought it did. Now, once again, we're just taking control of the map. Nunu's really good at that. Again, I'm too fat to kill, and even if they catch me, it's likely I'm just going to run away. Same situation happens here. I will put myself in between the enemy, just sort of throwing snowballs when I can, absorbing shots and whatever, because I'm a very low value target. If they get up on me, then they pretty much lost. I'll keep repeating that. In this case, I use my ultimate more for the slow rather for the damage, but it still inflicts quite a bit of damage and is enough to help take down Renekton. Unfortunately, my teammates get taken down too, so it ends up being an even trade. Well, actually, in that case, the Quinn threw her life away and it ends up being a negative trade, right? We lose this trade. In fact, it causes us to lose this tower, so it's an even worse trade than I thought. Still, though, looking at the team comp, you should see that my team should not be able to lose this game. The enemy team was sort of banking on having a really strong mid-game. But they've kind of lost control of the map, they've kind of lost control of the objectives, and my teammates are sort of just routing them. Here, a fight breaks out, and I used my items. I sort of try to get in a position in which my ultimate would have the greatest effect. So I get in between them, you pop my ultimate, slow happens, damage happens, and once again, a full ultimate gets off, and it chunks the shit out of Ahri. She gets pretty much taken down. The enemy team was split in half by the ultimate, and they still ate it, and the rest of them were just going to fall, just completely be taken down. Oh, the only one we lost was Quinn, too, so it's a... Well, actually, no, we lost right there, Rek'Sai, but still, we annihilated the enemy team. It's a clean sweep. It's a really brutal ace, and the enemy team kind of had the advantage there. My team was too, clumped up. We were separated. Our damage dealers weren't anywhere nearby. So that ultimate just wrecked the shit out of them. Of course, the Aurelia is really crazy right now in terms of power, so she too is contributing a lot. She's right now the biggest player we've got. And me giving her Blood Boil just makes her even more insane. So that's a great thing to be contributing to the team as well. So I have, instead of locking out the Anna Solari, I kind of decide I'm going to go Banner of Command. Right? But actually, here, look. Same thing. They actually grab me and everything, but they can't do anything to me because if they've burned their abilities on me, it's such a huge waste. But at the same time, they have to keep me in check because my buffs and debuffs are a huge nuisance to the enemy team. The fight is really haphazard, right? Half their team is fighting the other half of my team somewhere, and the other half is fighting the other half in some other place. So we were split up. Unfortunately for them, my team is stronger in skirmishes than they are. If half my team is stronger than their one and half their team, so it's just they can't win at this point. Their best bet would be to try to isolate the Aurelia and kill her, or to isolate people who are going to support the Aurelia, because you can see we're just kind of overpowering them. Our front line, Rek'Sai and me, are way too strong. The DPS that will follow from behind is even stronger than theirs as well. So they can't burst through our front line, and my front line will steamroll them and set them up to be killed by our back line. That's just pretty grim for them. So I'm actually going to buy the Banner of Command just so we can split push. The idea right now that was suggested to the team is the Vel'Koz gets a Banner of Command, so he can Banner of Command top lane or mid lane, and then the rest of us are going to go bottom lane. In this case here, I give Righteous Glory to the Quinn so she can catch up to the Ahri and just completely obliterates us to the Skarner and the Quinn. I mean, a Skarner and the Ahri. We chase off Nautilus. My teammates are going to try for the Baron, and surprisingly, the Renekton decides to teleport in and just to die. I don't even know what compelled him to do this. It's a 3v1. It's 3v1 versus the frontline tank of Rek'Sai, the tanky support who's going to CC him to hell, and the Quinn who's going to have pretty much free reign to rain down damage against him. So after that, we get a free easy Baron. We go chase after the Nautilus, and notice this. I put myself in front of him, just so in case he tries to use his Q to escape, he's just going to grab me and pretty much make no distance between us. So that was a good way to make sure Nautilus died. Though, to be honest, he had no chance of escaping regardless. It's just an extra safety measure in order to get him killed. Now, in this situation here, it's going to get a little too crazy for me. The fight breaks out. We're kind of separated here, and we really don't have all our cooldowns, but at least we pick off Ari. Unfortunately, we get a little too crazy, and I personally tower dive, trying to split them up with the ultimate so they couldn't go through. We pick off a few of them, but the rest of my teammates are so low. The Graves is pretty much able to pick them all off. So he gets I think he only gets a triple kill. Well, he gets they really will get killed here, I believe. No, she runs off. No, she turns around and then gets killed. Yeah, sorry, and Graves gets a delayed quadra, so to speak. So yeah, that was a completely stupid idea from my team, and it started with me. I got too ambitious trying to split them up with the ultimate. It did work because we got 3 kills for my team, but we overstayed our welcome and we took so much damage we just got picked off. Still though, we're so far ahead the enemy team can't recoup. We're about 10,000 gold, and then Graves decides for some reason to throw out his life. I mean, the Valkyrie decides to use his ultimate even though that Graves was guaranteed death. You see, we've got a banner of command homie right now. He's helping us push mid. In fact, we have 2. Adds a lot of damage. I completely underestimated banner of command's effect here. I thought it would just kind of kill the minion waves, but it also deals a lot of damage to the towers. My ultimate, once again, just a complete nuisance to the enemy team. I absorbed the charm from the Ahri, which is kind of really detrimental for them, but it wasn't meant to stop my ultimate, so there's that. It's just, I love that. The enemy team's CC is so valuable. They cannot burn it on me, but they are forced to burn it on me. That's another thing that made Nunu such a strong pick in this game, is that my ultimate, if they want to stop it, they have to use a Nautilus ultimate, which is really, really something they don't want to use against me. They have to use his Q, which again, it's really valuable to use it on the proper target. The charm needs to be used to set up a combo, or the Skarner's ultimate is, again, one of those things they need to use on a valuable target. So there's really nothing they can do to stop me. I guess Renekton's W is the only thing worthwhile, but at the same time, it's such a risky thing to try to get to me from a distance or at all. So it's just the Nunu ultimate magnet worked out so well in this. They really couldn't do a damn thing. Of course, I'm giving credit to my teammates too. I rarely fucking annihilated people. Quinn got so huge and she basically tore the enemy asunder. Now, I like this. By the end of this game, my teammates were actually quite pleased with the Nunu display. Like, at the start, they hated the fact that I picked Nunu, but by the end of it, they loved it. Remember, if you enjoyed the video, give it a like and subscribe if you haven't yet. Make sure to also check out the sponsors that make this channel possible. Links to their websites are in the description below.